Hey everyone! Dan here from the Diamond Minecart, and welcome back to another mod showcase where today we are going to be looking at some of the mods that were in Yet to Be Crafted. I'm not keeping that up. There's a lot of mods that we used in the Yet to Be Crafted mod pack, but I'm only going to go over the ones I think are the most interesting, aside from like Terralith, which is like the world gen new biomes mod, Alex's mobs, which add a ton of new mobs into the game. I'll just go over the really like the main ones of the mod pack, I suppose. So first up we have Touhou Little Maid, which is it adds maids into Minecraft, and they are usually Touhou, but you know, there's downloadable skin packs. To summon a maid, you're gonna enter the world with one of these. So yeah, these are here, and then you can select the skin from here. It does take a while to load depending on how many packs you have loaded, but there's Reimu Hakure. But if you don't have a soul spell, then the other way to summon a maid is using this assortment of blocks here. You're going to need a Hakure's Gohei, which you can craft using this arrangement of materials. I'm going to be doing this a lot for the other mods as well. You're going to need this book as well, because this actually shows you how to make this multi-blocks altar right here. So if you can right click on the ground and then put that blueprint in the world for you. What you want to do is you want to take your Gohei and then right click, I believe it's this, no, it's this spot, and then bam, to summon a maid, you want to take one of each of these things, and you're going to need to make sure you have power points, so get a couple of those down there. You can see how many you have in the top left corner if you hold the Gohei. So what you do is you put all these down on each of the pedestals by right clicking. You're going to need one redstone, one gold, one coal, one lapis, one diamond, and one iron. And then it summons a gacha box type thing. And there's Jolene. So to tame one of these maids, you just give them a cake, and that's pretty much it. And once they're yours, you can go into their inventory and give them a bunch of things like armor and tools and weapons. You can change the time of day they work. So for example, if I make Reimu attack, then she will attack hostile mobs. It's the summon command. There you go. And she's attacking. But she'll only attack during the day, during her day shift, which is in Minecraft 6 to 18. And then she has rest and idle. And what she does for rest is she sleeps. Make her a very specific kind of bed called a Maid bed, using 3 planks of any kind. Thank you. And then she will sleep in this. Time set that. There you go. And that's her sleeping. You can also craft this middle backpack in the same way, and there are 3 tiers of backpack. This is the middle tier. I just used it as an example. And you put it on the pedestals in exactly the same way as you do everything. This is like your main method of summoning stuff for the Maid mod. Here's the backpack. You just right click and she'll wear it. And then it'll give her extra inventory space, which is very useful. This mod does add a hostile enemy fairy maid. So what usually they'll attack, but because I'm not in survival, that's not happening, which is fine. They spawn naturally around your world, and they're just like common enemies. One other notable item from this mod is the chair, which can be crafted in a crafting table using this recipe. So we'll take this And as you can see, it is basically just another one of those like seat items that you can sit on. The maids can also sit on them naturally, and to just pick and to get them to stand up again, you shift right click, and that's all you have to do. With the incorporation of the Simple Hats mod in this mod pack, we have learned that the maids can wear hats. This sets up a lot of possibilities, which is really fun, and we had a lot of fun with that in the game while we were playing. So that's it for the Touhou Little Maid mod. It's actually a very useful mod, and we had a lot of fun playing with it. Okay, on to the next mod, which is the Traveler's Backpack. We originally had Sophisticated Backpack mod on this. Fortunately, it wasn't compatible with some of the other mods in the mod pack, so we just went with the classic Traveler's Backpack mod. To craft a standard backpack, you'll need these items. This is a red sleeping bag, and these are backpack tanks. You also don't need backpack tanks to make a backpack, but you can add them in there to store liquids and things like that, like lava and water. So those are really helpful. I would recommend taking the time to craft those. To craft a sleeping bag, you just need some red or, well, wool of any color, and then a white wool. And then you can make an assortment of different colored sleeping bags like beds. The tank is just 6 glass and 2 iron ingots. And then you take your 4 leather, 1 string, and then you put all those together in the crafting table like so. You get a standard traveler's backpack. It doesn't have a lot of space, but that is because you can use these upgrades to upgrade its storage. So to craft a blank upgrade, you need the string and the leather. And to make the upgrade into an iron tier or a gold tier or a diamond tier respectively, you just surround the blank upgrade with the respective material in a crafting table. I'll demonstrate how this works. So you take it over to a smithing table. You put leather in the slot where the material you use to smith would usually go, and then you put the tiered upgrade in this slot here, and then it comes out as a iron tier backpack. Now you can't go straight to diamond. You have to actually take these and upgrade them by the different tiers one at a time. So you have to go from an iron tier backpack to a gold, and then from a gold to a diamond. There is netherite. I'm not showing that right now. So that's the backpack. There's a lot of different upgrades as well that you can add to the backpack, like different kind of perks and power-ups. Like there's a magnet as well in there, and different, I think there's one that plays music. There's a built-in crafting table and furnace in there as well. Really useful and really fun to use in a modded survival context. So that's the Traveler's Backpack mod. Next, we are going to look at Better McDonald's. We added this one simply because it was funny. You can just use a lot of different vanilla food items to craft McDonald's food items. You can craft like French fries and chicken McNuggets, stuff like that. For the essentials, you're going to need salt, and salt is actually a naturally occurring block near like rivers and stuff, so you can find that out there if the Terralith mod doesn't override too much of it, but it shouldn't. It should be fine. If you dig up the salt, it's like clay. You get 4 salt from, you know, just digging up a salt block. And then you'll also need a McDonald's knife, which is 1 stick and 1 iron ingot. So we'll take this. There are several things you can craft. These are all just crafting table recipes, so you don't really need anything special. We can make fries, which is 1 baked potato and 1 salt. And then how it works is you put the knife in the crafting table here, and then that'll actually use up some durability of the knife. But you can keep putting this knife back in the crafting table to craft more McDonald's foods until it breaks, so that's how you use that knife. That's pretty much the McDonald's mod. You can find all the crafting recipes for all the different foods in there. And then I want to move on to Farmer's Delight, which is a huge expansion to vanilla foods and everything. There are a few different items you can craft in this mod. We'll start with the skillet, which is a brick and 4 iron ingots in this arrangement. And then the cooking pot, which is 2 bricks, 5 iron ingots, 1 water bucket, and a wooden shovel. And I've got them right here. You actually use the cooking pot. It's got its own little like crafting UI. And there's a lot of different recipes you can choose from. And you actually need this cooking pot to make some of those recipes. Like, it's required. You can't use a crafting table for a lot of these. For some recipes in the Farmer's Delight mod, you can use a crafting table. However, this pot has some exclusive recipes. So, for example, you can make fried rice using the pot. And if we stick these in like so, you'll see it starts cooking. We actually need a bowl to take this out, so I don't have a bowl. I wasn't prepared. Oh no. No, we're good. Watch this. And then you put the bowl in here and then it comes out. Ta-da! And you've got your fried rice. We also have these stove blocks, which I think they do help the cooking pot to actually cook. But you can use a campfire in exactly the same way. Here, let me show this off real quick. This is a campfire. So you put that on top, and then yeah, it has its own like grill standee, which is fun. To craft the stove, you're going to need 4 bricks, 1 campfire, and 3 iron ingots. That's all. Now, some of the ingredients for foods you'll need to create using a chopping board, which can be crafted with 4 of any oak planks and then 2 sticks, and there's your cutting board. Let me show what I mean by this. Okay, so for example, here, I'm gonna take this raw mutton. This is where it gets a bit confusing. You'll also need the Farmer's Delight iron knife. Oh, well, there are different tiers of knife as well. So you can even create a flint knife out of flint and a stick, and then there's also the diamond knife and the gold knife and things like that. You will need, this is the exact same recipe as the knife in the Better McDonald's mod. So we've had to download a mod that is able to swap between these 2 different recipes. This is the polymorph mod, which actually helps you to choose between one crafting recipe that has 2 different results. So that is a really handy mod to have if you have like conflicting crafting recipes. So yeah. Okay, so we have our iron knife. We'll put the raw mutton on there with a right click, and then you right click again, and then that chops it into raw mutton chops, which is a Farmer's Delight item. And then you can use a lot of these to craft Farmer's Delight original recipes. There's a few different cosmetic items that this mod also adds. For example, there's these canvas signs, which can be crafted using oak planks, stick, and canvas. And to make canvas, you need straw. Now, straw actually comes from like the wheat crops, for example. I don't know if this works in creative, so I'll switch to survival real quick. And you have to harvest these crops with a knife specifically, otherwise you don't get straw. So if we harvest this, we get the straw from them, and then you can use the straw to craft. Here, let me get this one as well. Put those back. And then here, straw. And then you can make things like rope as well. Rope is also very handy because we also have a few new crops as well. For example, cabbage, onion, and rice, as we saw. And we're gonna actually take these tomato seeds, real quick. And we're gonna put some rope up here, because what you can do with the rope actually is you can cause these tomato plants to grow 1 block taller, and so that's useful for getting extra crops. Tomatoes specifically, I guess it's just like a neat detail. Actually, I should show off this roast chicken. Some of the recipes are actually big foods like cake that you can place down. So To craft a roast chicken, you'll need all these things, and then you just put that in the crafting table. Let me go over here and show this off. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And then to actually, you need a bowl to eat this, so I'm pretty sure I thought I put a bowl here somewhere, but and then so yeah, you just pick it up using the bowl, and then you've got a plate of roast chicken. And then it comes off like off the bone like that. Isn't that cool? It's like a real roast chicken. That's the farmer's delight, everybody. I'm also going to show off the furniture mod Refurbished. This is made by the same guy who did the old furniture mod, Mr. Crayfish. It just works a little bit differently from how it used to. Pretty straightforward. You're going to need a light electricity generator and a workbench, and you craft those with 7 iron ingots, 1 redstone block, and a blast furnace. And then there's slabs of any wood type, planks of any wood type, 1 block of redstone, and 1 iron ingot. And then, so we got these here. You see that the workbench is missing power. We need to hook this generator up to the workbench. And then this generator is also how make a lot of appliances and other electrical furniture items work in the mod as well. So to hook this up, you're going to need a wrench, which you can craft with string, leather, and an iron ingot. Let me hold on to this as well, these oak planks, because we're going to need those. And then you hover over the wrench, you see these little like nodes pop up. So you right click this, and then it drags a cable out, a hypothetical cable, and then you just hover over this, and then you right click again, and those two are now connected up. The number there, I believe, is like a maximum of how many different things can be connected up to this thing. So you can also like relay system your appliances. So if I had a third appliance, I could take it from this workbench and then go to a different appliance instead of having to like directly connect to the electricity generator, which is very handy in some situations. To power it, you just need some coal, and then you need to turn this on. Now the workbench is working, and we can craft some items. So I'm gonna craft this chair. So it is incredibly straightforward. You actually just like select which furniture items you want, and then it will just take the materials out of your inventory, and that's how that works. It's really easy to use, and then you can just put your furniture whatever you want. A lot of different furniture types to play with. There's a lot of potential with this mod. It's really fun, and I recommend it if you want to like make like a house sort of situation in Minecraft. Very fun. That's Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod Refurbished. And then for the last mod, I've saved the best for last. This is Cobblemon. You've noticed it in the left of my screen. I have my Cobblemon right here. You can choose your starter at the very start of your world, and there's lots of different Pokemon to find in the world. You can see them spawn in the wild out there. There's a few essential items you're going to need on your Cobblemon journey. So you're going to need Pokeballs, obviously, which you can craft using these apricorns, and you get apricorns from like wild apricorn trees. You just pluck them off with a right click, and it's easy as that. And then there's also the saplings that come from the apricorn trees. Thank you, Reimu. You just plant them anywhere. You can even plant them in farmland, and then they'll grow. So to craft your Pokeballs, you just take your red apricorns and then a copper ingot in the middle, like so. You put that in a crafting table, and it'll spit out 4 of those. There are lots of different Pokeball recipes. Some that also upgrade from copper to iron ingots, and even gold, and even diamond. Excuse me, Reimu. Thank you. And then, yeah, so there's a lot of different Pokeballs that you can craft. Great Balls and Ultra Balls, they're all there. There's different colors of apricorns that you can use. It's a bit like how Pixelmon had the apricorns as well, so it's an intuitive recipe. There's also like berries you can plant and harvest. And these berries actually they can, if you can actually crossbreed some of these. There's very specific crossbreeds that you can do with the berries. So for example, there you go. There's the lumberry that I got that from crossbreeding an oran and a cherry berry. There's 69 total berries to find in the wild. Some of them can only be crossbred. So that's just like a cool different other pursuit to look out for. You're also going to need revival herbs. They grow into these flowers and then they sprout more revival herbs you can plant over and over again. And mint seeds, which just grow mints. These can be used in different crafting recipes. Also can be crafted into like the mints that you can use in like that were introduced in Pokemon Sword and Shield. That changed a Pokemon's nature. So for example, you can change Meloetta here from Adamant to like Modest or something if you use the right mints. And then you're also going to need a PC and a healing machine, which can be crafted using smooth stone, copper, iron, and glass for the PC. That's a really easy recipe. And then for the healing machine, you're going to need a copper ingots, iron ingots, diamond, gas tier, and a revive, which is a Cobblemon item. Revives in Pokemon just revive your Pokemon to half HP. And to craft revive in Cobblemon, you're going to need a honey bottle and heal powder, which is something that you can get by smelting revival herbs, which is why you need the revival herbs. So that's how you get revives. And then you can check your PC, store your Pokemon in there. You can actually store all your Pokemon in Cobblemon and then you don't have any, you have no Pokemon on you. I'm not sure why you would do that. I guess I kind of get it because it's like you want to have the Cobblemon experience, but you also don't want to have like Cobblemon on you sometimes. So this is a really handy feature to have. So I'm actually going to take this out because I want to demonstrate a battle with this Wooloo here. As you've seen, you can actually trap Pokemon. You can use Minecraft boats, or you can also use the Touhou Little Maid chair item, as we found. So I think that's interesting. So to battle this Wooloo, we press R, we send out Char, and Char, use Flamethrower. Nice. Not all of the attacks have animations yet. What are you doing, Rayma? Okay, whatever. Never mind. So yeah, not all of the attacks have animations. It's the mod is currently being worked on still, but like they're pumping out updates with new Cobblemon, new models for the Pokemon every so once in a while. They recently came out with 1.7 update. It's very a user-generated experience, Cobblemon in and of itself. So people have added they've done their own mods. So for example, let me pull out Steelix. I'm currently operating in 1.5 of Cobblemon, and I can ride Steelix like so. This is a add-on mod that somebody made where you can ride the Cobblemon, and yeah. So people make their own mods for this. People make their own Pokemon models as well. I have Meloetta and Victini in my box. Those are actually not in the base mod, but those were added by somebody who made a resource pack for Cobblemon that adds these two into the game as well. So there's a lot of different resource packs, data packs for Cobblemon out there as well that people have made for the mod. It's very community based, very fun. Oh yeah, we also added Megas. That's one of the other mods that mod add-ons to Cobblemon that we added. And you can find these in the wild. You shift right click to give a health item to your Pokemon. So it's holding the Steelix now, as you can see. And then you just right click on it with the Mega Cuff and then Mega Evolves. There you go! Yippee! Woohoo! And then you just revert it back by right clicking again. And I think that's Cobblemon. So yeah, those are all of the mods that I wanted to show off that we used in Yet to Be Crafted, the modded Minecraft series that's on the gaming channel. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, I guess. And if you like it, then be sure to subscribe, leave a like and a comment, all that stuff that people ask you to do. I have to get back to making more videos, so I will see you in the next one, hopefully. I don't know, probably not, but we'll see. Thank you for watching, and goodbye!